Hello, just wanted to make video to talk about jobs. Wanted to talk about work because I've had some introspection time, and it's very insightful because going back to this very important part of my life where I feel things really got messed up when I was 16 at when I was ending high school. At the time, my interests were school, my friends at school, music. Just started playing guitar, but I think when I was excited about this and talking about this to my parents, they were worried. I think, the cult has prepared them. Jehovah's Witnesses has prepared them to think that I'm slipping away from the organization. I'm having worldly contact. I'm gonna, because it's either I pick the organization with the Jehovah's Witness lifestyle, or I pick friends in the world, and just having friends in the world is goes completely opposite. So it's black and white. So I was thinking that because I'm thinking about uh, why, what are my goals today, and why am I doing this? And so, what am I looking for in a job now that maybe I want to avoid from a previous job that I didn't enjoy? So, yeah, with taping on construction, one of the things that bothered me were the heights, getting up early in the morning, the cold in the morning. Sometimes people leaving a mess on the floor, and I'm walking in stilts in it. It's dangerous, and it's bothering. But the main reason why I left was because I left the construction work was because I felt like I wasn't intellectually challenged or stimulated. I felt like I didn't like the job. I felt like I'm not learning anything anymore. Maybe first when I start doing the job, I'm happy that I'm giving my shot, and I'm good enough to be able to work on the walls that are uh, below the ceiling. So there's a certain confidence in that I feel pride that I've made it this far, that I can uh, have something a little less demanding and stupid than the other job that I was doing, which I thought as a manual labor job doesn't require anything, doesn't require any thinking or any depth or any introspection, anything that has to do with ideas or imagination. I'm basically there to transport things, clean the floor, and there's a lot of time off that it's not like you're really engaged in a lot of thinking. So that's how I view my job. I even remember saying that after a while of doing this, I feel like I'm gonna be brain dead because I'm not challenging my brain. I think my father, since his job was framing and he worked in the US, which means a lot of planning, a lot of like getting into a new city. So you need to find the grocery store, you need to find where to do laundry, all the things with the visas and the papers. So there is some planning, a lot of, I think there's a lot of intellect that goes into framing and drywall and construction. So it's just that I wasn't doing the framing, I was doing the cutting the studs. So I was doing measurements, but It was not a mathematical challenge, or it's not a challenge for my brain. So that's the main reason why I left, was because I wasn't learning. I was like putting on, I was learning on the internet outside of work, but yeah, maybe I could have done more learning outside of work and treat my work as more like I'm contributing to society and getting paid for it. But anyway, the way that I was seeing it is was that I'm not intellectually stimulated, and my father, I don't know, has a job for stupid people. I think he says that. I've heard him say that doesn't he's proud that he's not educated. Uh, he says that it doesn't require. I think he has something about not being interested in school or higher education. He says that's not for him, and things like that. So I guess he's okay with people thinking that he's stupid, but I don't think that he is stupid. Maybe he's okay with the criticism, but he never defended himself to say that no, my job is not for stupid people. It's very important. I need to like this. This is the foundation of a building, and it needs to be done properly because the building could collapse. So there's a lot of measurement required. There's a lot of spatial abstract thinking that's required. You need to be able to read plans, all these things, that all these skill sets that he never really talked about. I've never heard him advocate for himself to say that this is not a job for stupid people. This is requires intellect to be doing this, not just manual labor. But my mother, on her side, I've heard her say that my father, for him, if it's a job, it needs to be physically demanding, because if you're just working with ideas and being in an office, that's not work. So the real work happens if you're suffering, if if it's physically demanding. So that's the I don't know. I don't know if my father thinks that he doesn't have some intellectual job, but I think he does think that he has an intellectual job. But I think the point is that it brought me. I think it's the cult that the Jehovah's Witness that were. It's like either you're in the world or you're with us, and if you're with us, you cannot be in the world. So if you're having friends in school, we need to do something about that. So I've heard even a talk that was David Splain saying that even if the child doesn't want to work, you need to force him because he's just gonna be lazy, and it's not something. If you see that the child is like, well, yo, it's 2 a.m. in the morning, and I need to be sleeping right now. How dare you wake me up? Uh, it's actually the father would have the role of, that's not a way to be. You need to you need to you need to be a grown up about this, and you need to put some effort, and it's important. So me being a people pleaser and trusting the adults as being more experienced and wiser, uh, even if it doesn't make sense for me, I would say, okay, you have the best interest for me at heart, so I'm gonna follow what you say. So if you tell me that this is a good option, well, who am I to say that's not a good option? Because I don't have any experience of the world. Maybe what I think is gonna be a complete mess. So but at the same time, I have my inner world, but I don't want to speak too much about it. That I'm not gonna be assertive enough or standing my ground and saying, no, hey, okay, maybe that's your life, maybe that works for you, but for me, I think this is better. So in a way, the education system failed me in that, and so I trusted the adults, which I didn't know that the cult was a cult. I thought where we have the truth. So even better, this is, uh, these are very wise course of action. So I really honestly think that the cult had 100% a word in what happened when I was 16 years old, when I was still in high school. I don't think that's my parents' fault. I don't think that. I think my parents were following the cult, and that's how it happened. That's how it happened. So I was just thinking that while I was involved in that and this new experience of getting closer to my father, learning my first full time job, which was construction. Uh, I was having a lot of inner life, and nobody really knows anything about who I am or what I'm thinking or even how I feel. So, and with music at the time was that thing that allowed me to develop as a person and grow up as a person. And especially my idol Armin van Buuren. I feel like if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would have an identity or a personality because he was the person that I wanted to be like. He was I felt like he had the complete humanity, the full spectrum of what it is to be a human, and including spirituality, and that was outside the Jehovah's Witnesses. So uh, I think that's the thing that eventually I made the choice of wanting to follow my passion and become an artist because of that, and that allowed me to leave the Jehovah's Witnesses. I realized that they were holding me back. Uh, so yeah, I don't know how much my real parents, if they were not influenced by Jehovah's Witnesses, I don't think that that's how it would have been. And as for intellectual job or not intellectual job, uh, first of all, I think my father should have advocated that he's not doing a dumb job, and my mother shouldn't have blamed him for saying that. He's only thinks that work is only physical labor. So yeah, I think everybody had a little part, and for me, it's being more trustful of being too much, not trusting my own uh, opinions. I guess that's part of my upbringing that makes me think like that. But a lot of self doubt and thinking that Armageddon is going to happen in just a few years, so I don't need to think about having a career or anything like that. It's no use. So yeah, the cult has a very, very, very big part in what happened to me. That was the most traumatizing part of my life at 16 years old, and really messed up my development. So there you have it. I will put the blame on where it belongs, and that's it. Thank you. And I wonder, maybe you have a similar experience, or maybe the fact that you hear my story, you think, oh, I wasn't aware. Me too. I thought that it was my parents, but actually, maybe the cult had more to do with it. So, thank you for listening. Okay, bye. Good evening.